Welcome to Toon Lagoon at Universal Islands of Adventure, a land filled with colorful characters, larger-than-life comic book scenes, and hidden details that are easy to miss if you're just walking through. Today we're going beyond the attractions and taking a closer look at the story behind Toon Lagoon. We're going to explore the little Easter eggs, funny details, and Imagineering touches that bring this cartoon world to life. From the moment you step into this land, every building, sign, and character has a story to tell. So let's slow down, look a little closer, and discover everything Toon Lagoon has hidden around every corner. Toon Lagoon games are one of the first things you'll see after walking through Marvel Superhero Island. There are several carnival-style games like Whack-A-Mole and Basketball Toss. The prizes are always changing too. Gameplay cards are what you use to play these games. You can buy a play pass or card at any of the carnival game stands throughout the parks. Individual games cost about $10 each, but you can save money by purchasing a play pass, which would give you 10 games for $60. That saves you $40 by purchasing a play pass. Plus, the credits on your card never expire. If you do not use all your plays, you can save the card and use any remaining balance on future visits to the resort. The cards are reloadable and can be played at the other carnival games at both Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. Toon Lagoon was created with the vision to immerse you in the diverse world of comic strips. There are more than 150 characters from various different eras featured in Toon Lagoon. Here you can meet characters like Popeye and Olive Oil. I actually found them as they were leaving Toon Lagoon. The first bathrooms are at the entrance from Marvel Superhero Island. There's even a vending machine with lots of essentials you might need, like Advil, Band-Aids, and deodorant. We're going to take a brief look inside the store. It's called Toon Extra. If you're looking for Hello Kitty merchandise, then this is a place to come. Something you'll notice as you walk around Toon Lagoon is the text throughout the land is entirely presented through comic book speech bubbles. Penny machine. Popeye, Olive Oil, and fruit. That's evil menus. There's some pretty fruit stuff. Popeye. And a little bit of Scooby-Doo. Agger the Horrible sails above the shop with a fun water fountain that you can walk under. You'll also notice giant holes throughout the land that are wrapped completely in Sunday funnies. At the entrance to the shop, one features Prince Valiant. This comic strip debuted in 1937. Toon Lagoon has plenty of water features so you can cool down, and 2 water rides that will get you drenched. Today's a good day because all the water features seem to be working. Sometimes the water features do get shut off. Here's a famous quote from Popeye. "I am what I am." Here's the Comic Strip Cafe. At this time, it's a seasonal dining location and will be open at various times throughout the year. In June, it seems to be open from Sunday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The quick service restaurant serves up burgers, salads, and Asian dishes. They've added a few new dishes, plus I believe the warm chocolate peanut butter cookie is new. If you have a Coca-Cola refillable cup, then you can find the machines inside here. Next to the comic strip cafe, we have a little stand, Kathy's Ice Cream. It opens at 11 a.m. The menu has sundaes, shakes, and waffle cones. On the side of Kathy's Ice Cream, there's a pathway with tables and the lockers for Ripsaw balls. Here's a fun Easter egg. On the ground, you will notice a dotted tracking line. It's a reference to the comic strip, The Family Circus. It goes around the pathway through Toon Lagoon. If you follow Billy's chaotic wandering path, it leads directly to a display for the comic strip marked trail. The joke is that Billy followed his father's literal note to remember to mark trail. You'll find the Family Circus display outside the Passholder Lounge. The trail leads to the other side of the building, where Billy has found himself inside another comic strip. Here is a Passholder Lounge. It's a great place for pass holders to unwind, and you can even buy a Coke. There's also exclusive UOAP merchandise. You can't go in if you're not a pass holder. There's tables and chairs and some merchandise that's been marked down. Just outside the pass holder lounge, there is a themed fountain. These aren't just random dogs. These are figures of various cartoon and comic strip dogs, enjoying water from a fire hydrant. Amongst them are Pudgy from Betty Boop, Dog from High and Lois, Daisy from Blondie, and Snert from Hagar the Horrible. Blondie's, home of the Dagwood, is another quick service restaurant. It's currently closed, but when it is open, it serves made-to-order sandwiches. If you didn't grow up reading the Blondie comic strip, the Dagwood is the famous oversized towering sandwich named after the main character. They serve it here with ham, roast beef, turkey, and several other toppings. Toon Lagoon has some great photo ops, including this one. Take a hold of Marmaduke's leash, and the Great Dane appears to drag you along. We've made it to the first ride. As we walk towards the raft ride, there's a sign that says Sweet Haven. It's the fictional town populated by Popeye, Olive Oil, and their friends. Universal recreated it here. Popeye and Bluto's Bilge-Rat Barges. It's a 12-person raft ride. You will go through raging rapids to rescue Olive Oil from Bluto, who has kidnapped her, which seems to be the theme of both attractions in this land. You will get soaked on this ride. Just remember, this ride closes 1 hour before the park closes, and the minimum height requirement is 42 inches. Wimpy's is another quick service location. Wimpy is Popeye's best buddy, and he is on a mission to serve the best hamburgers, which many do say that it does serve the best hamburgers inside the park. Guests can also order chicken fingers, salad, or pineapple Dole Whip for dessert. Just outside Wimpy's are some people dryers. After going on the ride, you can use these to dry off if you get too drenched, but they do cost money. Me Ship the Olive is Popeye's famous ship named after his true love. It's a multi-level play area. At the top is where you will find water cannons to get riders even more soaked than they already are. It's a small play area. There's not as much to do as some of the other play areas at Universal. I think maybe in its prime it must have had more to do. There's a door that is closed off, and it looks like it used to be a place for kids to play. The elevator is also out of service. Some of these things make noise and are interactive. The slide is closed as well. Explore the walkway behind Me Ship the Olive for visual gags such as school fish and a Plymouth Rock, and to get a glimpse of Popeye's mailbox. Here's Plymouth Rock, a large boulder that's carved into the shape of a classic Plymouth automobile. Here's the School of Fish. It's a miniature floating red schoolhouse sitting on the water. Walkway into Lagoon. Here's another pun, the torn sign. It says high tide and low tide, and the rip tide section is physically ripped in half. Just outside the bridge to Popeye's ride is a popcorn stand, and behind it, the box of skunks is an Easter egg that is a humorous visual gag. The building says the word Skunkworks, which came from Al Cap's satirical comic strip Lil Abner, which was popular in the 1940s and 50s. The Skunk Works was a dilapidated factory located on the remote outskirts of Dogpatch, in the backwoods of Kentucky. According to the comic strip, scores of locals were done in yearly by the toxic fumes of the concentrated skunk oil, which was brewed and barreled daily by grinding dead skunks and worn shoes into a smoldering still, for some mysterious reason. Lil Abner is the main protagonist of Al Cap's comic strip. He is an iconic cultural archetype, a tall, handsome, but incredibly gullible and simple-minded country guy. Here's another shop. Gasoline Alley is a life-size gas station from the comic strip Gasoline Alley. Here you'll find vacation apparel and sundries like beach towels, hats, swimsuits, and Universal branded t-shirts and products. Gasoline Alley is the second longest running comic strip in U.S. history, debuting on November 24, 1918, created by Frank King. It was famous for being the first to have real-time continuity by showing its characters growing and aging over generations. There's also a wall full of flip-flops, which you might need if your shoes and socks get drenched, and you don't want to walk all day in wet shoes. This is the other set of restrooms in Toon Lagoon, and it continues the theme of Gasoline Alley. Over here, next to the restroom, is another penny press machine. The next shop, What's the Matter You, was closed some time ago and remains closed, but here is what it looked like before it got closed. Most of the store had several different kinds of merchandise, from DreamWorks' Gabby's Dollhouse. It also had some Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, and How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know if it will open back up, but if it does, it could have different merchandise. Outside the shop is a fun interactive element, the Hush-A-Bomb, referencing an episode of the Rocky and Bullwinkle show where Boris and Natasha attempted to steal the formula for a sound-repressed explosive, but the formula was eaten by Bullwinkle. It will make an explosion sound effect. Ilta Chief is where you'll find a Coca-Cola Freestyle filling station. It has 2 machines. Let's take a look at the other water ride in Toon Lagoon. Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. Down this pathway is the ride's entrance. There's some people dryers off to the side for those who want to be blasted with hot air in the hot Florida sun. This is the kiosk to get your ride photos. There's even a test seat outside the attraction to see if you fit. About the ride. In 1991, Universal struck a deal with J. Ward Productions of Los Angeles that allowed it to use a bunch of animated characters in their theme parks. Among them was Rocky and Bullwinkle, Dudley Do-Right, and Snidely Whiplash. The queue sets up the plot of the ride. You pass through Snidely Whiplash's hideout and witness the kidnap of Nell Fenwick from her dressing room. On the ride, Dudley Do-Right is in pursuit of Snidely to save Nell as you wind around 4 levels of the Yukon Mountains. The ride is meant to be an aqua coaster, even though it resembles a log flume. Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls goes outdoors and indoors with a few smaller drops before the big one. The final drop sends riders down a 50-degree, 75-foot drop at speeds of up to 45 miles an hour. The ride has a minimum height requirement of 44 inches. Also, there is stroller parking just outside the ride's entrance. And of course, there is child swap for those that can't ride. A fun little detail comes on the final drop with a shack labeled Danger Explosives. As the riders pass under it, the shack is supposed to mimic being blown into several pieces before falling back into itself. Here you can see the shack moves a little, but I've seen the effect work better than this and with more effects. For example, water shoots up and the boards on the walkway move. If you want a unique and fun souvenir, you could have a caricature drawn of yourself. Looks like there's a bench to sit on, and it costs $20 for black and white drawings or $30 for color. That's not a bad price. Here's another shopping stand to buy more merchandise. At the end of the bridge is a snack stand, Frostbite Freezes. Here you can buy ices, and in case you didn't know, ices are included in the drink option if you bought a Coca-Cola Freestyle refillable cup. And that is the end of Toon Lagoon. There's a sign at the beginning and end. It also doubles as a little splash pad in case you didn't get wet enough. It's such a colorful land full of so many characters. I hope you've enjoyed discovering Toon Lagoon with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the parks.